Urban here, breaking those limiting beliefs. Okay, you guys, we're going to start with identifying those. What do those look like? Anything that tells you that you are not enough, that you are not smart enough, that you may not have enough money, right? Limiting beliefs. Oh, I'm not good enough. I'm not qualified for that position. I'm never going to find anybody to love me. Limiting beliefs. How does that happen? It happens because of trauma. Okay, so there's three different ways that we can get these limiting beliefs. Okay, first, we can have them from our own selves. So, what does that mean? That means that I had somebody tell me that I was ugly, that I was fat, that I was stupid, that I was one of these things, right? And so then somewhere in my head, I registered that and it said, oh, I remember when I was 4 years old, my dad told me, because I told him I wanted to be a ballerina. He said, you can't be a ballerina because you don't have the body for it. And so my little 4 year old self, that was it. It limited what I believed was possible for me to experience in that moment. So, what have people told you that have stopped you from believing? Okay, so that's one of the ways. Either we have it from our own experience. Another way we get these limiting beliefs is from our parents, from our grandparents, generational stuff, right? That generational stuff we get way more than our looks and our quirks from our parents. For real, for real. So we also receive what they were mentally and emotionally focused on most when inception happened. So I don't know what your parents were going through at that moment, but you got those limiting beliefs. So maybe they were a young couple, unsure if they were even going to be together. Well, somehow, generationally, through that DNA, we absorbed that belief system because, again, it's in the DNA. So the two ways, okay, so far. Limiting beliefs, they come from your own experience where somebody told you something that stopped you from believing that you had greatness. We get it generationally, or we absorb it from other people. So how many of you guys have been around, like I know for me, I used to always want to listen to the ladies when I was a kid, when they were cooking and preparing, like my mom and my aunties and those people, and they would be sitting there talking crap about either other people or, oh, we're never, I don't know why he's the, like whatever, right? So they're talking about all of these negative things. So if you were around people, or even now are around people who communicate limiting beliefs, then guess what? You have the ability to absorb that. So, limiting beliefs. How to identify them? The second that you get excited about something, it doesn't matter what it is. So, say for instance, oh my God, they just posted a new job. I think I want to apply for it. Then what happens instantly? That limiting belief that goes, oh, I'm probably not qualified. They probably wouldn't pick me. Why don't they pick, limiting belief. So, what if I told you that that energy can be shifted, it can be alchemized just as quickly as you received it, absorbed it, and even generational traumas and energy can be alchemized because all is energy. All is energy. Your thoughts, it's energy. Your emotions, it's energy in motion. That's what emotions are. So those limiting beliefs, those things having you feel less than, they can be shifted. Everything can be shifted. So I don't know about you, there's a multitude, there's always more than one way to do anything. Always more than one way to do anything. So when you're ready to start shifting those limiting beliefs, I invite you to start some mirror work. Mirror. How many of you are able to look in the mirror and just say, I love you. I love you. You're beautiful. Oh my God, you are the smartest person I've ever met. You're so unique because that is one way that you can start shifting and breaking through those limiting beliefs. Because when you affirm yourself and when you validate yourself, nobody can take that away from you. What you believe is true. So when you start giving yourself permission to start believing things about yourself, for instance, that you are smart, that you are super capable, that you are freaking resilient, that you are radiant, you are exquisite, you are extraordinary. Sticky notes. Sticky notes everywhere. So this is the thing, what happens, you guys. Sometimes we have a hard time crossing that bridge, right? Going from belief, right? From that limiting belief to embracing something different, right? And so when these things happen, I invite you to utilize words like, I'm in the process, because mentally, your mind will allow you to be in the process of anything. So when you are in the process of saying nice things to yourself, I'm in the process of beginning to value myself. I'm in the process of ... right? That's a huge helper. Lean in word. Another thing that you could start saying is, lots can happen. Lots can happen if I started thinking that I was pretty. Lots can happen if I started giving thanks for my amazing life and started looking for the good things. I'm so grateful that I see the beauty in my life. I'm leaning in. I'm grateful. These things are huge. They're key. They're so helpful. Limiting beliefs. We could get them from 3 different ways. We can have our own experience where somebody told us something horrible, or short, or even like our teachers are, oh, you're never going to be anything if you don't figure out this math equation, right? That really will mess with somebody for the rest of their life. Some people, however they perceived that moment, right? So limiting beliefs, they can come 1 of 3 ways. You can have your own like that. You can generationally receive it from your parents, from your grandparents, because we get more than our looks and our quirks from our parents, for real. So if they had limiting beliefs about the success that they could have in their life, or their ability to own properties, or for instance, a lot of people continue to carry that generational limiting beliefs that there could be sobriety in your family, right? So if you're ready to be the tenacious one to invoke that, let me tell you, that energy, it shifts. It shifts not just your energy, but when you do generational work, your whole family will feel a difference when you be the sacrificial lamb, because it takes somebody to be open to having the generational energy work. And I am your energy alchemista, so you know, if you're ready to be that bold person and shift your life and the life of your kids, your grandkids, your siblings, your parents, your aunts, your uncles, 7 forward, 7 back. I'm native. It can happen. Anything has happened. So back to limiting beliefs, 3 ways you can have them. You could receive it from something that happened to you, told to you directly. You can generationally get it from our freaking parents, grandparents, and we can absorb it. So when you're around people who are talking like, oh, I'm always bouncing checks. Oh, I never have enough money. Oh, why doesn't anything ever work out for me? Then guess what? You have the potential to absorb this, because whenever we as humans become empathetic or compassionate for anyone who is having a hard time, it opens up all of our little heart chakras and that mental, because I believe we have 4 energy bodies. You have your physical body, you have your mental, your spiritual, and your emotional body. All 3 of those energy bodies are doing all kinds of crazy stuff differently. And so those limiting beliefs get triggered from emotions. They get triggered from thoughts. They get triggered because that ego, that mind, It is doing its best to do one of three things. It's only teaching you, protecting you, or motivating you. So when it tells you dumb things like you don't have enough money, it's motivating you in its own weird, twisted way to do something else, to start looking for another job, to get a second job, to start your own secondary thing. Those limiting beliefs, let's break them. It is possible because all is energy. Energy can be shifted. It can be shifted in a multitude of ways. There's always more than one way to accomplish anything. So when you're ready to do it and you want to do it on your own, start some mirror work. Start putting some affirmations around with lead-ins that say things like, I'm in the process of shifting my life. Lots can happen when I pay attention to how much water I drink. I mean, whatever it is, those lean-in words help you shift the I am and helps you to bridge that limiting self-belief, because when you start setting yourself up for success and allowing yourself to set these little goals and accomplish things, then that will override anything, because you now have proof that validates that you are resilient, that you are smart, that you can shift. So breaking those limiting beliefs first is identifying them. How do you know you're having a limiting belief? Well, anytime anybody expresses anything and this word enough comes in, that's going to be one of them. How many times you're like, oh, I'm not enough. I don't have enough money. I don't have enough time. I don't have enough support. Limiting beliefs. Oh, I'll never be able to get that job because ... That's limiting. But I promise you that if something got your attention and excited you, that triggered a limiting belief, it is because it's supposed to be what you're doing. It is because what is for us, that's why it's called a breakthrough. Because you need to break through those limiting beliefs to receive the reward. The reward's on the other side of that limiting belief. That thought, it's really just running off of an old program, because our mental body, that mind, it is our database for this lifetime. So when those thoughts come to you, it's come based on past experience. So it is like our computer, and it only has what it's been fed up until now based on your past. So when you want to feel some way new, when you want to experience something new, like a new house, a new relationship, a move, feeling better about yourself, a new dance partner, whatever. It is something new. So your mental body, that emotional thing, it freaks out. It does its thing. I'm trying to teach you, protect you, or motivate you. So when we can remind those thoughts, oh, this is going to be something new, so I'm going to need to learn something new. And then that builds confidence, and then that wipes away those limiting beliefs, because now you're going, you know what? I used to think that it was going to take a lot of work, but the reality is it didn't take nearly as long as I thought it would, right? Whatever those limiting beliefs are, we get to shift them. We get to recognize them first. So please start paying attention to anything that you're saying that doesn't feel empowering to you. And I promise you, it's going to help you start identifying that is a limiting belief. And then now, I invite you, every single time that you recognize that you are having a limiting belief, you could even start asking yourself, is this mine? Is this generational? Or you'll be able to see a pattern, because you will hear intuitively within you, in your gut, something will be like, oh, that's just what mom said. Oh, my dad always used to say that. Oh, my auntie always used to say that. Oh, that's the way grandma raised me. Right? So now it's time for you to take back the steering wheel and allow their beliefs to be their own, and now you adopt your own. Because sometimes when we recognize that it didn't even come from us, it helps give us permission to go after something that feels better right now. Because it doesn't feel good to have limiting beliefs around anything. Anytime that we aren't fully believing that our life is amazing, it's because there's something stopping or blocking us from that. Mostly trauma, but trauma can be shifted. So trauma comes from when somebody tells you you're stupid or you're ugly or you're dumb or you're never going to amount to anything. That energy gets thrown on you just like bad words. In our energetic bodies, that mental body, the emotional body registers it all right away. The emotional body, it takes all 5 of the senses and it remembers what you were smelling, what you were thinking, what you were seeing, what you might have been tasting, what you were hearing, all of those things, all at the same, so that it can remember and remind you in the future. If you sense this, if you hear this, then it triggers the root of the limiting belief. And because I am your energy alchemista, I have the amazing ability to track and trace that root to the original thing. I could tell you when it happened, the day it happened, what year, and what time of day that it happened. That is how smart your body is. Your body is keeping a record of every single thing that has ever happened to you in your life. And for most of us, we don't realize it's our database to improve of, but also to recognize what we don't have. So limiting beliefs can be shifted and broken when you identify their root. And if you have a hard time, get help. Give yourself permission to get help. That's why there's like holistic healers like myself. There are other people, there are psychologists, therapists. Find somebody that you trust and support and start shifting those limiting beliefs. Start doing mirror work. Look in the mirror and tell yourself all of the things that you would love for somebody else to freaking tell you. That you're beautiful, that you're smart, that you are freaking amazing. That they would love to come and spend time with you every single day. That's excited to talk and laugh with you. What is it you want? Because when you're able to start giving yourself that, then magically, energetically, magnetically, other people, like-minded people, begin to show up. And then they begin to appear like magic, because it's a vibration. All is energy, and energy is a vibration. And so when we are carrying generational limiting beliefs, when we are carrying the trauma from our past because of those things that happened to us, those breakups where I know my first husband told me that no one would ever want me, that I was fat and that I was ugly and that I had 3 kids and no one would ever want me. And I got so hurt and so broken that it got to the point that I said, I don't even care if anybody ever has me again. I would rather be alone than be with somebody who doesn't celebrate me. So start celebrating you in the little ways. Those limiting beliefs come from somewhere. Give yourself permission to release the trauma. It's all trauma. Those thoughts, it was because somebody said something to you, or you were born with it. Some things don't feel like it's you, but it's been with you your whole life. It's generational. It comes through the DNA, just like our amazing looks and our quirks from our DNA line. Give yourself permission to check in and start being around people who are positive, because the more you surround yourself with people who are negative, the more that you will absorb their limiting beliefs, because most of us aren't strong enough to combat other people's limiting beliefs. So it's important you surround yourself with people who pour into you, people who celebrate you, people who help you to feel amazing. And if you don't have someone, start giving thanks for the next place or space that these people are going to come. There's amazing free audio apps where you could get on and find your tribe around the world When you're open, things will change. Identify those limiting beliefs and then recognize that some of them aren't even yours. So if you're ready and wanting to heal generational stuff, I got you. There's a multitude of ways. There's always more than one way to accomplish anything. So just start. Give yourself permission to start right now, starting with the first limiting belief that comes in. If you're hearing one right now, that's the one you start with. You start with that one and you write whatever is the opposite of that, and you say, I am in the process. I am in the process of shifting whatever, and always write whatever's the opposite. You want to stick with the positive things. Get some mirror work going on. Write some things that start off with lots can happen if. I'm in the process of. Because then it gives your mind permission to lean into the possibilities it never thought possible before. So, Trey Urban here, your energy alchemista. I look forward to seeing you again soon. If you guys have topics that you would like for me to discuss, feel free. Message me, let me know. I love to share with you or give you feedback or, help you in whatever serves your highest and greatest good. Blessings on your day.